All right, let's just get right into it. So, you're desperately looking for a job. I know how it is. The bills are piling up, maybe your parents are dropping those not so subtle hints, and the pressure is just mounting. I get it. But before you leap at the very first offer that comes your way, you really need to hear this.
Look, I know it's tough, but panicking and taking a bad offer, that's like trying to put out a small fire with a gallon of gasoline. You're trading a short-term problem for a long-term nightmare. Some companies out there, they're not looking for an employee. They're looking for a sacrifice. Trust me, it is so much better to be unemployed for another week than to be trapped in a toxic contract for a year that just destroys your mental health.
So, this is the key thing you've got to understand. A good, healthy company, they keep you with golden handcuffs. A great salary, a cool environment, you just don't want to leave. But a toxic company? Oh, they use iron chains. We're talking threats and crazy fines to make absolutely sure you can't escape. And that brings us right to the first major threat. And let's be clear, this isn't just some bad company policy. No, this is a trap, carefully set up by predatory companies just to take advantage of people who are desperate. Okay, red flag number 5. Let's talk about the diploma hostage and resignation fine scheme. And I want to be crystal clear about this. When a company says they need to hold your original diploma and then threatens you with a fine if you quit, that is not for job security. That is a hostage situation, plain and simple. So why? What's the twisted logic here? It's actually pretty simple. They know. They know their company is a terrible place to work. They know that after maybe 2 or 3 days, you're going to be desperately looking for the emergency exit. So the only way they can force you to stay is by literally holding your future hostage. And the trap just gets worse. We are talking about a fine for quitting that can be tens of millions of rupiah. Think about that. That's not a penalty. That's the boss's side hustle. They're making money not from their business, but by squeezing it out of employees who are mentally broken but financially trapped. You're supposed to be there to earn money, not pay your own boss just to escape. Okay, so what if you're really in a tough spot? What if you feel like you have no choice but to take a job like this? Well, you are not powerless. There are absolutely ways to protect yourself. Here is your game plan. This is how you build your defense. Number 1, you demand a detailed official handover document. Get it in writing. Number 2, you photograph everything. The document, your diploma, the HR person taking it, everything. And number 3, if they give you any trouble when it's time to leave, you threaten to report them. And even better, threaten to go viral. Social media is a free and unbelievably powerful weapon against companies like this. All right, let's move on to the next massive financial trap. This is where companies try to get the work of an entire department out of one person for a tiny fraction of the cost. Oh, you've seen these job postings. I know you have. The list of requirements is a mile long, demanding the skills of a superhero. But then you scroll down to the salary and it's either suspiciously vague or just flat out insulting. Right? They want a graphic designer who's also a video editor, who somehow also understands accounting and has a driver's license. It's ridiculous. They're not trying to hire a person, they're trying to hire an entire division for one cheap salary. You're a human, not a Swiss Army knife. And whenever you see that word competitive in a job posting like this, you should be super suspicious. In this context, competitive is usually just code for the absolute bare minimum they can legally get away with paying you. It's not competitive for you, it's competitive for their budget. And this quote just hits the nail on the head, doesn't it? Multitasking sounds like a great skill to have, but here it's just corporate speak for exploitation. They'll praise you for juggling 5 different jobs at once to make you feel all capable and important, when all they're really doing is saving a ton of money by not hiring the other 4 people they actually need. So besides those 2 huge financial traps, there are other really important danger signals you've got to learn to spot. These are the little things, these subtle clues that tell you something is very, very wrong before you even sign that contract. So red flag number 3. If the job description has a line like willing to help other divisions, watch out. That's not about teamwork. That's a setup for you to become the office servant, making coffee, running the boss's personal errands, you name it. Then, number 2, if HR is emailing you at 9 p.m. on a Sunday, that's not dedication. That is a massive warning sign that this company has zero respect for work-life balance, and they'll expect you to be on call 24/7. And finally, the biggest sign of all, number 1. If you look them up online and see a parade of ex-employees who only lasted 3 to 6 months, run. Just run.
That's not a workplace, it's a sinking ship, and everyone is trying to get off.
Okay, enough with the problems. Let's talk solutions, because you can avoid all of these traps by just changing your mindset. You're not a desperate job seeker, you're a savvy investigator. Before you even apply, you gotta do your homework. Check the reviews online, find former employees on LinkedIn, and just send them a polite message. Ask for the real story. And here's my favorite part. During the interview for one of those one-person division jobs, when they ask for your salary expectation, flip the script, ask them, for a workload this heavy that requires 5 different skill sets, what budget has the company allocated for this role? Put them on the spot. And that's really what this all boils down to. This is a business transaction. It's purely professional. You are not selling your soul. You're not selling your mental health or your personal time. You are selling your specific skills and your hours. And in return, they pay you. That's it. End of story. So what's the big takeaway here? It's this. Never, ever let desperation cause you to devalue yourself. Walking away from a bad offer isn't being arrogant. It's not being prideful. It is the ultimate act of self-respect. Your well-being is your most valuable asset. Don't ever sell it cheap.